We got a great show ahead of us. My name's Emilio. This is Musa. What up, Moose?
What up?
We got a great show ahead of us, like I said, but before we get started, we got to talk about our sponsor, Coach AI.
Producer Chris did it again.
Yeah, this episode of Your Detroit Now is brought to you by Coach AI. Struggling to stay consistent with your workouts? Coach AI is your personal trainer in your pocket, guiding you with customized workouts and motivation every step of the way. Try Coach AI today and make fitness simple. Download Coach AI on your phone, or you can find it in the App Store or in the description. Musa, Coach AI is a big friend of the program. We've both been using it. You look huge, man.
Yeah, I've been hitting the gym, getting some guns.
I love it. I love it. So let's start off with NFL. Lions played the Browns today, home on Fox, 1 o'clock. Musa, an up and down kind of game. Some good, some bad, some ugly. Let's start with you. What did you think?
Like you said, ugly win. Some errors were made up and down. But always all that matters is we got the win.
Got the win. So Lions have just won three in a row with that win against Cleveland. Final score 34-10 against Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco, I learned this today, 200th career game.
Really?
200th career game today. So let's talk about the stats before we talk about some of the performances and the highlights.
Here are some of the player stats overall around the game. Joe Flacco, 16 for 34, 184 yards and two interceptions. Had under 50% completion percentage, which is not what you want to see from a quarterback.
No good.
Jared Goff also had a iffy game, 16 for 27, 168 yards, two touchdowns and one interception. That was a pretty decent game by Jared. Uh, Rushing leaders by both teams was Quinshawn Judkins, 21 carries for 82 yards and a touchdown. Jameer Gibbs, 15 carries, 91 yards and a touchdown. And receiving yards, this one's kind of funny. Three receptions for 58 yards, and that one was by Isaiah Bond. Amon-Ra St. Brown was our receiving leader, seven receptions for 70 yards and two touchdowns. Um, they had no sacks. Our sack leader was Aiden Hutchinson with two. Tackle leaders, theirs was Devin Bush, six solo for eight tackles. Excuse me, nine tackles. And ours was Jack Campbell with 11 tackles for seven solo.
Yeah, let's talk about some team stats here. Total yards 277 to 249. Lions won that one. Turnovers 3-1. Lions won that one again. First downs, both teams had 16. Penalties 6 for 44, the Browns, and 6 for 35, Lions. Third downs, Browns went 3 for 14. Tough way to go about it. But I think that shows how strong the defense is right there. Lions went 6 for 14. Not a lot better. Being below 50% on third downs is pretty ugly statistic to be at. But like Musa said, we got the win, and there was some good, some bad, some ugly. Fourth downs, the Browns went 1 for 1. We went 0 for 1. Red zones, they went 0. In the red zone, they went 1 for 2, and we went 3 for 3. That is a huge deal. Time of possession, 31-44 Browns to 28-16 Lions. Musa, what is some things that really stood out to you in this game?
Some things that stood out to me is that somehow we were tied with Cleveland for first downs, even though I thought we had so much more than them. I mean, like so much more. And what also was concerning is Cleveland had 14 third downs and only converted three of them, which is really, really bad.
Yeah, it was kind of shocking to see that statistic actually, but I think that shows how good Kelvin Shepherd has been doing with the defensive line and the entire defense as a whole. Um, it shows that the linebackers, Jack Campbell, I mean, this guy is not afraid to fill the gap when needed, and it's really awesome to see that the defense is able to hold the Browns, who, beat the Packers, who we seriously struggled with week one. It's to me, it's incredible to see that we were able to hold them to only three successful third downs.
Mm-hmm. 100% agree.
Let's talk about some of the injuries. Musa, why don't you take us off?
DJ Reader and Terrion Arnold both left the game with injuries. I think I don't remember what Terrion Arnold's was, but I know DJ Reader think he pulled a hamstring, which is kind of bad. And Aiden Hutchinson is a very tough guy. I saw him down twice. Everyone was so scared. He got back up like it was nothing.
Yeah, and he was able to finish the game, which is awesome to see. And while we're on the subject of Aiden Hutchinson, 2 sacks and a forced fumble. And like I did last week, I'm calling my player of the week early. Aiden Hutchinson's going to take mine, just showing how tough of a player he is, showing how determined he is. He's able to cause pressure that really no defender on the Detroit Lions defensive line is able to match. Aiden Hutchinson is my player of the week.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with you. I also am gonna take Aiden Hutchinson as my player of the week as well.
Wow, back-to-back weeks, we're taking the same person, Musa.
Mm-hmm. The only player I thought was uh good in this game that like the only person that scored a very long touchdown was Khalif Raymond. He did really good with a 65 punt return touchdown. And on offense, he had a lot of diving catches, which is very hard to catch those. And yeah, I could see earlier in a couple episodes ago, I thought Isaac Tesla was going to be wide receiver 3 after week 2, but Khalif Raymond has been showing out with catching everything and getting a lot of good punt returns. It's going to be a tough battle to see who's going to earn that true wide receiver 3 spot.
What an awesome opportunity, though, right? Like you see some serious competition at the wide receiver 3 spot. I mean, it's not like we have, one receiver that we're sticking with. It's not like we have just two. We have four great receivers, and there's only 3 spots for them on the offense. So what an awesome opportunity for us to. It sounds like it's a great problem to have four incredible receivers and only 3 spots.
Yeah, I agree. This is a really great wide receiver room with a lot of talented players. And yeah, this is just a very great wide receiver room.
Let's take a deeper dive into the numbers here. All right, let me pull this up. After today's game, the Lions forced 3 turnovers, that's including fumbles and the 2 interceptions, and we were able to convert them into 17 points. That is literally taking the ball away from the offense and forcing it into points on our team. Like I just said, Aiden Hutchinson had 2 sacks. Jahmyr Gibb rushed for 91 yards on only 15 carries. That's 6.07 yards per carry. Musa, that's outstanding compared to where we were week 1, 2.1 yards per play.
That's a huge step up from week 1 to all the way to week 4.
You're 100% right. St. Brown, like you just said, 7 passes for 70 yards, 2 touchdowns. The defensive impact with Jack Campbell, 11 tackles, 7 solo, that cannot be understated. Khalif Raymond, a 65-yard punt return. The longest offensive play was a punt return. How exciting to see special teams getting a massive win.
Yeah, that I 100% agree with you.
So after the game, let's talk about some overall season stats. Where do we stand as of today? So after today's game, the Lions are sitting at averaging 245 passing yards per game and 149 rushing yards per game. Musa, this is really great position. The rushing yards is lower than the passing yards, obviously, but that shows pass first offense in the NFL right now. And with the accuracy that Jared Goff is known to have, I'd rather have nobody but Jared Goff as the quarterback for our team.
100% agree with everything you said.
Let's talk about turnover margins. The Lions have a +2 turnover. This means for all the turnovers the Lions offense has given up, the defense has gotten 2 additional turnovers this season. To be in a +2 turnover battle shows the defense is doing their job at getting the ball back to the offense, and the offense is hanging on to the ball. Musa, next week the Lions go on the road, play the Bengals, 4:25 on Fox. What do you think for this game?
I think it's not going to be a tough matchup with Joe Burrow missing almost the entire season, and well, I think Cincinnati's uh still gonna be a tough team. They're gonna put up a tough fight. Yeah, they just have a talented roster. I think the only hole is the defense, and yeah, I think the only hole on this entire team is the defense. Besides Trey Henderson, I think this defense is, no offense, but one of the worst, if not the worst defense in the entire NFL.
Yeah, I would agree with everything you said there. The defensive line has been rough. The secondary has been rough. Um, the loss of Joe Burrow is devastating for Cincinnati Bengals fans. The Lions have more passing yards than the Bengals. The Lions have more rushing yards than the Bengals. The Bengals do beat us on receiving yards, but we beat them in sacks and we beat them on solo tackles. So I have no doubt we can win this game. This game was much more nail biting when they had Joe Burrow. And without Joe Burrow, with a devastating turf toe injury, I have full confidence that the Lions can win this, and the Lions can actually go to four in a row.
Yeah, and in our episode one, me and Emilio both predicted. Oh, not me, but Emilio predicted the Bengals would win this game against the Lions.
Yeah, I did. Now, knowing what I know now about the Joe Burrow injury and how rough the defense is and how poor the O line has been, I'm going to take the Lions.
Sam, I'm gonna take the Lions all the way. Like our first episode. I'm still gonna lock in my answer and say the Lions will win this game next week at Cincinnati.
When we play these tough, high level opponents like the Eagles in the future, it's going to be tough and we got to clean this stuff up. We're going to skip college football this week as both U of M and MSU have a bye. MSU next weekend will play Nebraska.
The Wolverines next weekend will play Wisconsin.
So, that being said, we're looking for big bye week improvements. Hopefully, MSU can lock up a few more things on the defense, really show that the defense can compete with the offense.
And um, if you watched our video last week, I said three things I want the Wolverines to work on and who I want to see play. I said I want the Wolverines receiver room to work on their catching. We had a lot of drop balls this season. I want to see Bryce Underwood take a deep shot for once. Because he's got a cannon of an arm, and I would want to see Rod Moore start in that game. He's got another week. He's got another week to get fully healthy, so I think he'll start next week.
All right, Musa, let's move into baseball now. Tigers, what are we going to do with them? They made the playoffs, locked it up yesterday with a win in Boston, but things are looking ugly. I am not optimistic about the playoffs, but I am in full support of the Tigers.
I do support the Tigers. I just don't think we're gonna have a good playoff run as we did last year. We almost made it to the championship game, but no, I just don't think this is our season, and I think the Tigers are not gonna go as far as we did last year.
Right. So let's talk a little bit about the scenarios that were available today. The Tigers still had a chance at the division. Unfortunately, they lost to Boston with a 3-4 defeat. Uh, and that really doesn't set us up well when it comes to, you know, like I just said, we had a chance at the division. But, it didn't end up mattering because Cleveland would have won and they had the tiebreaker. So the fact that we really didn't have our best stuff the game before our first playoff game is no good. Let's talk a little bit about, some of the stats from this game. We left 7 runners on bases. We did have 12 total base hits. We had 1 home run and 9 hits. I mean, the offense is trending upward this game, but it's nowhere near where it was at the end of last season. And we're just not putting together wins like we were able to. But let's talk about where we are now. Cleveland has a division. Because of that, The Tigers currently hold the 6th seed. Now, that means we're going to play Cleveland in Cleveland for our first wild card game. Luckily, Scooble is ready to start the first game, and Musa, with the bats that Cleveland has and the offensive power that they have, we're going to need to win this first game.
Yeah, 100% agree with you.
Right, so let's talk a little bit about the numbers. Okay, so like I just said, going to Cleveland for the best of three series, the wild card round. Scooble is scheduled to start the first game, which begins September 30th. Game 2 is October 1st. Tigers are sitting in the 6th seed. But Detroit is going into Cleveland just like we did last year in the ALDS. Musa, that was an ugly series. We ended up losing it. What do you want to see differently when we go to Houston, when we go to Cleveland, than we saw last year?
We got to hit better.
100% right. And we need to play better defense. We need to lock things up on the when balls come to us, we can't make errors. We got to get the out, make the safe play. So we're hoping for a victory here. That being said, it's really anyone's game. Cleveland is playing playoff baseball. They've been playing playoff baseball. I'm nervous. I don't think things are looking great. I think the Tigers need to win the first game if we want a chance of moving on to the ALDS. This is the first time, like we talked about last week, any team has lost a 15 and a half game lead. And like I said, I'm nervous. I don't think in the long run we can get it done. I don't think we can get to the ALDS, but our best chance is winning the first game with Scooble pitching.
Yeah, we need Terrace Scubo to lock it in, to lock in the playoffs. Yeah, I 100% agree with you.
So Scooble's lifetime record against Cleveland is 3-3 with a 2.33 ERA and 84 strikeouts. Scooble has played historically well against Cleveland, but it feels like of recent Cleveland's had his number. The Tigers' lifetime record against the Guardians is 1,164 to 1,163. I mean, this feels like this rivalry goes back many years, and it's crazy to me that we're only one game apart and we're guaranteed to play two more times this season. So this could flip either way, or it could be dead even in the end.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you.
So, like we said, our best chance of winning, you got to win game one. But really, I think we've kind of talked as much as we can talk about this game. AJ Hinch and the team knows what they need to do. Any final thoughts for you, Musa, on the Tigers?
Uh, we need to lock in this playoff run. Just said this so many times, but we're gonna have to wait and see.
Yeah, Musa, you're absolutely right. Red Wings. Red Wings are still in the preseason. Stay tuned to Your Detroit Now, as in the future we will take a deeper dive into the Red Wings season. Musa, before we go, let's hit the phones. Let's see some text messages. We got two this week. So let's start with our first one. This one comes from Bob in Troy. Bob asks, what's your biggest concern for the Lions heading into October?
Our biggest concern is the schedule, because we verse a lot of good teams and we have the bye in probably the end of October, I would say. We verse the Bengals, the Chiefs, the Buccaneers, all great teams all around. We're going to have to manage to somehow do great in those games.
Yeah, I would agree with you. I think the schedule is our biggest enemy for the month of October. Let's talk a little bit about who we play in October. So, our first game is the Bengals. Then we play the Chiefs. Then it's the Bucks.
And then we have a bye.
And then it's our bye. So, the Bengals, Chiefs, and Bucks, and then an early bye. This is tough. The bye makes it tough for players to come back from injury. Last year, injury was the number one story of the season. Hopefully, it's not the same this year, but I think the schedule is 100% right. The Chiefs game, that's one we're all circling. Now, along with the Eagles game in November. So I think the schedule, Musa, I think that was the perfect answer for that question. Next, Dave in Macomb. Dave asks, do the Tigers have enough offense to make a real playoff run?
I'm more concerned about the defensive side because it's more specifically the pitching because I think our we need to work on some moves to get some good backup pitchers with like Terry Schoolball, switching out and our pitching is I want to say our pitching is bad, but like I don't think it's like doing any good for us.
I would agree with you, Musa. Our starting pitching has not been doing us any favors. If only there was a point in the season when we had the chance to trade for better pitchers, maybe trade potential prospects for current MLB results. Oh wait, they already have the trade deadline. So I think we should have made better moves at the trade deadline, but this is not the time to talk about that. I think the Tigers need to really step it up if they want a better chance of making a deep run in the playoffs. I feel as if last year we were much hotter on the offensive side of the ball than we are today. 9 hits in today's game is not bad, but we need to turn those hits into runs. Leaving 7 runners on base is really tough to overcome. So we need RBIs, we need to hit runners in, and we need to score more. So I think the offense needs to step it up if we want a deep run in the playoffs.
Yeah, I 100% agree.
Stay tuned for next week as we will cover the Tigers wild card games and we will talk about Lions Bengals.
And we'll also talk about the MSU, Nebraska, and U of M, Wisconsin games to see what they improved and what they improved when they had their bye. Thank you for watching to the end of this video. We're not done yet. I know I talked about this a lot of times, but I feel like our goal was a bit, you could say, absurd, but I don't think it's gonna happen. So we're gonna lower it from 500 subscribers to 250 subscribers, and you could win this giveaway item. It's the I know I talked about this a lot. It's the sign, Michigan Wolverine signed football, 2023 Michigan Wolverine signed football. You have guys, like you have so many great players on it. A lot of national champions. Um, yeah, if you're a Michigan fan, if you have a friend or family member who's a Michigan fan, tell them to subscribe. Um, and we're gonna pick a random name and we're gonna send this to you. And thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe. Come watch our next video. This is Your Detroit Now.